All right guys, today we're gonna work on how you can build your own skills workout. So the first place I would start is pick something. So you wanna be intentional about what it is you're trying to improve. So in this workout, we're gonna work on, let's say, creating space. So in creating space, there's a bunch of different moves you can go to. We're just gonna start by repping those out. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way up and back. We're gonna just keep working on different moves that we can use to create space. In this one, we're gonna specifically work on speed stops. So I could go behind the back speed stop. We could go between the legs, speed stop. We could go 1-2 as if we're getting into a pull-up. Okay, so I'm just gonna work on speed stops going up and back. So we're just gonna keep making our way down and back. So once you've just repped out the different moves you're gonna use to create space, now we can layer that into our finishing piece. So now in the finishing portion, we're gonna still continue to work on creating space on the stop. And then what you guys do in this section here after you stop and getting into your layup is totally up to you. If you need a little bit more structure, what I like to do is I like to break up the finishing reps into rounds. So in the first round, I'm able to stop and beat my defender to the rim. So now all my finishes, I'm imagining that I have a defender behind me. Okay, now in the next round, I might imagine that the defender is on the side of me. So now I might work on contact finishes or hooks. And then in, say, the third round, I might imagine that as I'm driving, the defender cuts me off and I gotta work on some sort of change of direction finish. So if you need more structure, you can use that as your guide. So we're gonna start back here. We're gonna use the elbow as our change station. So as I get here, I'm going to stop, create space for my defender, and then I'm going downhill and working on different finishes. Let's put it all together. Okay, once I've done that first round of finishes where I've beaten my defender, now I'm going to do my finishes imagining that I have the defender on the side. Okay, now we're gonna move on to that third round of finishes. Now the defender is gonna cut me off mid-drive. I'm gonna work on maybe a Euro step or a spin move. Let's see what that looks like. So for the finishing piece, it can be as simple as that. You're repping out creating space, and then you're working on different types of finishes at the basket. So now in step number 3, we can layer in creating space into our jump shots. So this can look very similar. We're just gonna take one or a few dribbles. We're gonna come to a stop and create space. So mix it up, change which hands you start with. Also changing up the different ways you're creating space. Rep that out. I would recommend at least 10 makes. You can do as many as you need. So in step 4, we're now gonna work on getting game shots out of creating space with a stop. Now it's important when you're doing these reps that you're actually doing them with the speed that you're going to be doing them in games. If you're doing a speed stop, you have to be going at a good speed to get that defender to respect your drive and turn their hips. It's at this moment when you can stop to create space with those speed stops. Now, one thing is, if you only do this at like a jog, you're not gonna be able to get the defender to really have to turn and run to recover because you're not going that fast. So we really gotta make sure that when we're repping this out, we're going fast, and then we work on coming to a hard stop out of that speed. Don't expect to be able to play fast in the game if when you train, you're not training with that same intensity. All right, so let's review. We first started by picking the skill we were gonna get better at, just being intentional about what we were gonna improve. Then we worked on the skill itself. In this case, we were working on speed stops, so we were just repping out the footwork. Then we layered that into our finishing. We worked on different types of finishes at the rim using our imagination based on how the defenders are guarding us. Then we layered the same skill, the speed stops, into our shooting. We then simulated different game action by working on this skill to take different game shots, such as coming off ball screens, coming off of pin down screens, even transition shots. You'll notice that in all phases of the workout, we were repping out the same skill that we started with, which was creating space. This was a great way for your body to rep out the skill in multiple different ways. So you can use this as a blueprint when you guys are building your skill workout. Try it out and let us know how it goes in the comments.